Thank you so much for having me. My name is Nishant Bhardwaj. I've been a corporate guy for about 14 years now. I've been running marathons and triathlons for about 18 years now. My story is slightly different, and so is the topic today. Your job is killing you. Of late, whenever you speak with someone who is in a startup job or a corporate job, they are constantly complaining that my boss is killing me, my job is stressful, I am not able to sleep properly, I have no work-life balance. Whoever you speak with talks about their health taking a downturn, right? What is happening is slowly it is actually going down the drains. Your job is slowly killing you. Now, this is not a commentary about any specific organization, none that I am related to, neither that you will be related to in your near future. In fact, when you will build your own startup, when you are running your own companies, you will realize that the work-life balance that we talk about is never there. What happens is, over a period of time, you start developing some diseases which we'll come to know in the next slide. So your job is killing you, right? Now coming back to when I started my corporate journey about 13, 14 years ago, I was a young guy right out of my MBA college and started working really hard. I was traveling for about 16 to 17 days in a month, traveling length and breadth of the country, going from one shop to another, one dealer to another, one distributor to another, trying to make sales. And what that did was that the job became the centerpiece of my life. Everything else revolved around the job. Sleeping in hotels, eating outside, traveling, life, family, everyone took a back seat. It was all about the job. And slowly what I realized, and this was back in 2009-10, when I realized that I started becoming plump, I started becoming fatter. My sleep schedules started getting distorted. And what happened was a spiral effect of diseases that are this: obesity, hypertension, metabolic syndromes, which is a cluster of so many diseases put together, like hypertension, pre-diabetes, diabetes, with increased healthcare costs. And what happens is, which we very loosely use, is I'm feeling burnt out. Don't you feel burnt out? While the audience today is a mix of young college audience, college kids, they will get into the workforce and eventually probably a year into the job will start talking about burning out. But people, my colleagues, will continuously tell you that burnout is a real issue. You talk to any Gen Z, any millennial today who has been working for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, will talk about being burnt out. In fact, 86% people actually feel burnt out within 2 to 3 years of their job. Sitting is the new smoking. We all know that smoking is bad for you, right? Yet a lot of people do. But also what we know is smoking over a long period of time causes injury and harm to the body. So does sitting. We are constantly sitting on our bums for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours in a day, working on different presentations, different decks, different subjects, right? What is happening is it is causing a spiral effect of metabolic syndrome, which ends up causing you all of these diseases. There's a survey which says that 40% of all Gen Zs and millennials are suffering from anxiety and depression. Show of hands, how many of us feel stressed, we have used the word, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxiety. How many of us feel depressed or anxiety because of whatever issues? It can be unrelated to jobs also, because of deadlines and all, right? So many of you in the audience. That's happening because of constant sitting down in one location. So then the question is, we know the problems, right? We can see all the problems. We have all seen so many of young people suffering from some of these diseases. Some of them common ones are gaining a lot of weight or losing muscle or sleep, right? So the answer clearly should be about exercising, right? We should all exercise, right? You agree? We should exercise. It's a good feel-good factor. But we don't, right? only 2% of the Indian population, which is roughly 3.5 crore people, actually go out and do a structured training program, some kind of enrollment in the gym, some kind of running group, some kind of physical activity that we end up doing. But only 2.5% in a population of 1.4, inching towards 1.5 billion people. So then why are people not working out? I'm going to give you a few reasons why people don't work out. Show of hands if you agree with the statement or not. The number one reason to not work out is that you don't have time. Who doesn't have time to work out? Oh, so you guys work out who are not raising hands. The number one reason that people give is I don't have time, right? Number two, you don't have the resources. You don't have a gym, you don't have a running group, or you don't have some access to some facility where you can work out. Who here suffers from that lack of resources? Okay, so that means general population have access to resources, yet people don't work out, right? Number three, you don't have the support of your environment, meaning, and this is actually a legit reason, some females, are not allowed to go out in the evening to work out or in the morning, or you don't have that support from the society or your family saying that, you should not go out, why should you work out, all of that. Some of us, do we suffer from this? Support from your environment, from your society, from all of that? So good. At least this audience does not have that reason, right? There are other reasons also. My favorite one is weather. It's too hot. It's too cold. If we are in Mumbai, then it rains for 5-6 months. Who here doesn't work out in summers? Or because it's too hot, right? Winters. Right? Winters. In Bombay, we don't have winters, so yeah. So that reason doesn't apply to you. Rainy season, which is the favorite season of Bombay. Who here doesn't go out in rains? So many of us, right? So the point is that you will always have reasons. You will have ton of other reasons. In fact, just as a fun activity, while I was preparing, I kind of started listing down all the reasons people give you to not work out. And I could actually, just at the top of my head, I could make 25 to 30 reasons, which people give you. I couldn't wake up, I can't sleep on time, I don't have control, I have X deadline to meet, I have physical issues. I have heard that if you run, your knees will come out. So there are reasons as funny as you can think of. So my dog eat my homework is a good one in a college, right? Similarly, my dog ate my running shoes. That's also a reason people give. So there are so many reasons that people don't work out. And hence, I started this movement called Marathon in Suit back in 2020 when one of my colleagues at my previous organization suddenly passed away at the age of 34 from a cardiac arrest. He was a healthy individual. He used to kind of work out also on the weekend, play cricket with his friends over the weekend, had a nice little boy aged 4 and a little girl of aged 2. And this was December 2019. I remember it vividly. 34-year-old, very intelligent, made it in life, cracked all the exams, passed on graduation, post-graduation, working in a really nice organization, but suddenly he did not wake up in the morning. He had his kids right beside him when he woke up in the when the morning arrived and he was no more. And when it was investigated, it came to know that he had a coronary blockage of over 97-98%, which eventually it just went undetected and he had a heart failure. He never woke up. This shook me. See, I've been working out for 18 years, and I get my annual examinations done every year. And so does a lot of people in the corporate environment. They do get these checkups done. You do have some parameters which are all over the places, right? Diabetes is, your sugar levels are slightly high, your HB, TLC, DLC platelets are over all over the places, but we don't care. We don't pay attention to it and we don't make sense of the data. Some people experience high level of cholesterol also. We let it slide. We just think, okay, fine, I'll start walking. I'll do 20-30 minutes of walk and it'll be fine, but it does not. And if a 34-year-old, hale and hearty, made it in life with 2 beautiful kids, could not make it, then what is the probability of people in the later age groups to be able to wake up the next morning. And this just hits you suddenly. It just, you're not prepared for it. At 34, you're not prepared to die, you've not even thought about it. It just hits you and the entire family just crumples. Don't let that happen to you. And to augment the message, I started a movement called Marathon in Suit. So January, third Sunday of January 2020, there's a beautiful event called Tata Mumbai Marathon, which some of us might be aware of. Imagine 50,000 people standing at the start line, third Sunday of 2020. They are running, some of them are running 42, 21, 10K, 5Ks. And here I am, I registered myself for a full marathon. A full marathon is a 42.2 kilometers. I showed up in a suit like this. I wore a suit, started on the starting line, and I had about 10,000 runners starting with me. And suddenly people started looking at me as if I'm part of some media, at least at the start line. I've come to take some interview or some pictures. And suddenly I start running, and I'm running on Marine Drive. And then people start looking at me, start noticing, who is this guy? There are, I still remember it vividly, there are comments which I got, which were so hilarious. One person came and said, you look like Kim Jong-un's bodyguard who's running along the limousine, if you remember that meme, right? The other person said, you're crazy, are you running away from your bride? That was also one of them. Are you running away from a marriage? Then I remember about 3 dozen people, 30 to 40 people coming in ridiculing me, that such a stupid guy. But I didn't see them when I was running at 39, 40th kilometer with a suit on, so clearly I was fitter and faster. The point was, there were about 100 more people that started running with me and started taking selfies and pictures and started posting it online. Then I posted about it online on LinkedIn and Instagram also, and it went instantly viral. This particular suit, this was actually from January 2023. I did it again in Tata Mumbai Marathon. I did it twice, and this started a conversation in corporates, WhatsApp groups, so many other company groups. People started noticing that there is a guy sending a message that despite the constraints, despite the heat, the weather, the heat of Mumbai, the humidity, there's a guy who wore a full business suit and ran a 42 kilometers despite the constraints. I can do it too. You will have 100 reasons to not work out. You will have 1,000 reasons to not get up. Find that one reason that can actually change your life and you can start taking action. I had only one reason. Because I was so moved by my friend's demise, I wanted to send a message that it's time you guys wake up. If I can do it in a suit, you can at least wake up, wear your shoes, wear your socks, go out for 50 minutes, 1 hour and do a normal workout. I'm not asking you to run a marathon. I'm not asking you to build a body like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not asking you to build a Zumba black belt or whatever that rating is. I'm just asking you to take action and move. Find that one reason to work out. And what could be that one reason? The most important reason could be family. It could be your spouse. It could be your near and dear ones that you really care about. See, at the end of the day, no matter how successful you become in life, no matter how much money you have in your life, no matter how many titles, how many followers on social media you have, how many verified profiles you have, if you don't have your health with you, none of that is going to matter to you. Your job, your company will leave you the first instance, your finances will go down the drain, you will not be able to add value to your family. So find that one reason which is motivating enough for you, and you don't need hundreds of reasons, right? You just need one reason to get up, show up, start working out. Okay, all of that motivation is good, right? So the next question is, how do I get started? You're telling me, I should wake up and do this, do that, but how do I get started? So to simplify it, I came up with the rule of 250 fitness. This is my rule, which I've been using for about 18 years. My dad, who was colonel in the army, my mom, who was a diplomat in the government of Haryana, she always, they both of them were government servants, but they always made it a point that you worked out at least 1 hour in the morning or went for a evening walk after dinners. So they taught me one very simple thing, and I want to also share that up to the class of 12 till 2005, I was obese category 2. I was 113 kilos, 5'8". Just to put it simply and not, don't cancel me, but I was fat. Like, I was really fat. But then my dad introduced me to this rule where it's not about how long can you go, how long you can work out. He just told me that you just need to work out once every day for 5 days a week. You just have to work out for 5 hours. He asked me, Nishant, how many hours in a week do you have? I said, Dad, 168, right? 24 into 7 is 168 hours. He said, I'm asking you to work out for 5 hours. How much is that? I said, that roughly 2.9% of the time. So then he asked me, Nishant, how many hours do you spend on your phone? By the way, this was 2005, so we did not really have phone, but we did have laptops and stuff. So how many hours did you spend on screens? That time we used to spend about 5 hours, 6 hours. I was in my engineering. So then, and now, by the way, all of us end up spending about 12 hours watching some kind of screen. It could be 6 to 7 hours on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and then 2, 3, 4 hours on laptops and a couple of hours on Netflix and lying down in some weird angle and watching Netflix. Right? So 12 hours you spend on your screen. He asked me, I'm asking you only for 5 hours in a week, which is only 2.8%. You spend much more time every day watching screens. You can do this. I think, okay, yeah, this sounds doable. 5 hours a week is doable. I can do it on Sunday, I can do it on Monday, I can take a couple of chuttis and I'll still be sorted, right? Then he said, how many weeks in a year do you have? I said 52. So he said, you can take 2 weeks off, work out only for 50 hours, 50 weeks in the entire year, 5 hours a week. You have 250 hours where you can work out. With this 250 hours, ladies and gentlemen, you can run a marathon. You can run a full marathon, you can run a half marathon, you can drop 33 kilos like I did. You can reverse your type 1 diabetes, you can reverse so many of your metabolic conditions, hypertension, BP, with just 250 hours in the entire year. This is roughly less than 2.8% of the entire year. 250 ghanta, 250 hours only in 365 days, ladies and gentlemen. That's how small an investment you need. But this 250 hours will change your entire trajectory for the longest time. And hence, it is so much more important even for corporate employees, people who are into some kind of sitting job, people, students, college students, everyone can take out that much time. If you have time for 12 hours of Reels, Instagram, Facebook, all of that, you can definitely take out 1 hour and 5 hours a week and 250 hours in the entire year. What that will do, especially for the corporate employees, and as you can see, can anyone recognize who that gentleman is? Jeff Bezos, right? Look at, he has all the wealth in the world, right? He's probably a $200 billion personal net worth. But look at how ripped he is, how jacked he is. So that just shows that no matter how much money you have, you still have to put in the hours. But what that does for the organization and people around you, especially for corporate leaders, is that it helps you in improve decision making. You're making better decisions because serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine is firing into your body, making you instantly feel better, more energetic, and opening up new pathways in your mind to be able to take decisions which are constructive for your organization, for your personal life as well. It improves in creativity. You become more fluent, you become more expressive, and this has been proven clinically as well. That's what fitness does to you. It improves job satisfaction. It increases your competitive edge. So many of us have become so, we've resigned to life. We are not competitive anymore. We need to be more jacked. We need to go out there and kill the competition and fight it. When you're completely fit, you're healthy, you can fight. If you are healthy, if you're on a higher side, you can't move, you have low energy levels, you can't compete. You need to be jacked to be able to go out and compete with your cutthroat competition. With new tools, AI tools, with ChatGPT, Bard coming in, do you think the business scenarios are going to remain the same? ChatGPT, Bard are giving exponential advantages to small startups also, which can kill giants and big corporate houses. But that can only happen for people who are completely motivated and driven. And hence, your job is not killing you, ladies and gentlemen. Your job is definitely not killing you. Your lifestyle is not killing you. Your priorities in life are killing you. please stand up and take notice, because when you apply the rule of 250, only one thing if you take back today from this talk is remember the rule of 250 hours fitness. It just takes 5 hours in a week, 50 hours in the entire year to be able to do anything, and it will unlock your unlimited potential, which is just sitting behind the screen. It's just resigned to instant food, instant delivery, instant this, instant that, instant dating. Get out of that. Just spend 1 hour in a day, 5 hours a week, 50 hours. In 250 hours, your life will change. You will unlock unlimited potential. You will increase your longevity, guys, and it will bring back the work-life balance that has been missing in your corporate job. That's been my time, guys. Thank you so much. Let's continue to train India of Conquer.